I'm Kortnie.
And I'm Emily. And this is Cheers to That. Hello, Kortnie, and welcome back to your weekly podcast where we talk about motherhood, marriage, and laugh at everything in between. So I have to ask, can you please say the phrase for me, 5 bowls of boiling oil? This one's for Grace.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Grace, for trying to throw me under the bus with this accent of mine. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm Oklahoma born and bred, baby. Like, there's no taking it out of me.
So let's,
you want me to go ahead and say it?
Please do.
What is it again?
5 bowls of boiling oil.
5 bowls of boiling oil.
Honestly, it could have been so much worse.
Yeah, no, I've watched some of those videos where
5 bowls of boiling
oil. Like, it's like, whoa. Like your tongue is just tied.
Well, that's how, like, I feel like everyone here says oil.
Yeah, you said it oil. And
I did?
Or you
Naturally?
said it like oil.
Really?
And I said oil.
Wow.
Like, I pronounce every single.
You know, it just goes to show that even though we're born apart, we can still come together and have differences in how we say oil. Mm-hmm. Wow, I do say it weird.
Yeah.
Huh. Sound off in the comments.
Interesting. Why don't you guys pause this real quick? And I want you to practice saying it 5 times fast. Record it. Send it to us. Tag us. Oh, yeah. I guess that's the more
Everyone's
natural
like,
thing. Tag us.
Yeah, I'm doing this challenge for this podcast that no one cares about. It's really cool. I got lots of friends. Well, it's been quite the week.
It has been a week.
Last time we did this, we were on the precipice of Hurricane Beryl.
The last time we did this, we were in the eye of the storm, literally.
I think we actually were. The power was flickering. The power was already going. No, the power was out, and we are on generator power already. Yeah, so that was, what day did we record? Sunday?
No, we recorded on Monday. Because
that's why.
I came back from Oklahoma on Sunday. So we recorded on Monday, and then guess what? You ended up stuck with me for the rest of the week.
One of my favorite
It's like
things.
we showed up, and then we didn't leave.
No, but you know, and we've talked about this nonstop forever. One of my favorite things in friendship is being able to hold people hostage. And whenever you're staying the night at my house, not because you want to, but because I have power, it really fuels my soul because it's like, what are we gonna do?
You have power literally and figuratively. Like, it just gives you power.
And that's always my goal.
Honestly, it was so much fun. And we were very grateful to you guys to open up your space for us because they're the only people that I know of in Atascocita that had a generator that would run their AC. Like, everybody else, their generator, like ours, was not big enough to run our AC. And so we had went and checked in on the house, and it was 88 degrees in our house. And there's just no way. I have some friends that I work with that are still living with no power. Still, they might get it back tonight. It might be the 19th.
Yeah, some people are saying the 19th, and we're recording this. What's today? The 14th. Today's the 14th. So they might have 5 more days without power, which is crazy. They've already been like without power for
2
6
weeks.
Yeah, and this is your first, like we talked about it last time, like your first hurricane season to see what happens with power. And it's like it wasn't even that bad of a storm, but it just knocks the power on its ass, and these people are screwed.
Yeah,
there's nothing they can do.
It wasn't that bad of a hurricane. It was, category 1. But I will say, Matt and I drove around with the kids on the golf cart around the golf course just to see what the destruction was. And it, like, category 1 hurricane level 8 destruction. Yeah. It's crazy to see all of the trees.
It was lots of trees down. Lots of trees down. It's really sad because there's some beautiful trees, and I just feel sorry for them.
I know.
I think of the grandmother tree in Pocahontas.
That sings.
Yeah.
Yes, man.
I know. I just think of her every time I see a tree down, and I'm like, rip.
R.I.P. to those trees.
Grandma
tree. There's no coming back from that.
No, some of them are crazy. But we're very fortunate, and sorry for everyone that's not. The way I said that was not good.
I know. Well, we just, all we can do is, like, keep our houses open. Like, if anyone needs, just like to cool down for a little bit, like with AC, we're not opening our houses to strangers.
Yeah, swerve on my house. Bye. I did my good deeds.
You're like, it's over.
It's over for everybody. I'm done. I've done it. And I will be blessed for it. So I'm good. I'm good.
Good karma coming your way.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can't take any credit for our situation because Connor hooked up the generator through the natural gas in our house, like we've talked about. So, like, it did, I feel like we have the strongest generator out of everyone we know, other than people that have, like, a Generac built in. And highly recommend.
After this,
what a game
yes,
changer.
Matt was like, all right, what are we doing? We are buying a generator big enough to run the AC. But what did I decide for us to do instead in the meantime was to redo our whole breakfast nook area. So
well, that's more important.
It's just much more fun. It's more fun to get to redecorate a space versus spend money on a generator.
Yeah, no, I
when we could just go to our best friends' houses and pump off of everything.
Honestly, don't buy the generator. It's going to make me upset if you buy one because, like, what am I supposed to do?
Or we buy a generator as well, one that powers, and then we can just switch on and off from the houses.
Yeah.
That's a little bit more fair versus like us just bumming completely off.
I really don't care. So. I just really, I enjoyed it so much. It was so fun. Addie came in and got in bed with us every morning with me and Fielding, and she like would wake him up, and it was just like so sweet.
She loved it.
He was so excited. To not be an only child for a few days. Like, I think he's so funny because he doesn't really want to be around people all the time. Like even with Addie, like he'll be with her all day, and then at the end of the day, he's like, "Okay, like I need some time now." But with them here, he was like so excited,
couldn't contain it.
Oh, he was so
They would
pumped.
Go up and just hug each other.
I know, it was so
randomly.
Sweet.
It was
and then Addie
really
would ask me every morning, "Are we gonna go home today? I really would like to stay the night with you again." I'm like, "I know, babe. Like it just depends. We don't know." But
I know.
But it was what 2 nights, 3 nights,
3 nights.
3 nights,
and then we got our electric back.
Woo-hoo!
So I saved this to tell you until today because I'm so excited. I just have to brag on myself, which I think I really like to do. So yesterday, we went golfing with my dad. It turns out I'm actually really good at golf. I'm dead serious.
I hate you. I hate you.
Guys, I played golf maybe like 3 times in my life and never a full. We did 9 holes yesterday.
I'm upset.
Why? Because I'm good at it?
Yeah, because I try so hard at golf and you like never play. What? How good are you?
I'm good enough where I drove the ball and I landed on the green. Like, the way I couldn't wait to tell you because I was so excited, but I was like, I have to save this for the podcast because I'm so good at golf.
Okay. This is layered. I have a lot of feelings. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm really happy for you that you have found this skill. 2, what the hell?
I don't know where I've been hiding this talent of mine.
I'm taking lessons. It's over. I'm taking lessons so we can golf together. That'd be such a fun workout.
That's what Matt was telling me. He was like, let's get you golf lessons now. My dad, who golfs literally every single day.
I'm pissed.
And I don't think he was saying this just because he's my dad. He was saying, like, you have natural ability. Like, the way I was hitting the ball, the only thing I will say that I need to work on really bad is putting. It's very hard. Putting is very hard. But, like, chip it every time on the green.
Okay, I can chip. Chipping is the only thing I can do. I cannot drive.
Hitting it with a wood iron. Is that what they're called?
There's
it has a W on it.
Yeah.
So it looks kind of like a chipper,
like
but
wedge.
it's not. W for wedge. Yes. So
this is not a golf podcast. I don't know.
W for wedge.
I've got junior clubs. I don't really know.
I do need a little bit more power behind my drives. Like if it was a 250-yard drive, I'm not going to get it on the green.
Kortnie, if it was a 250-yard drive, I will hit it 10 feet. And that would be on my 3rd swing because I missed the ball every time before that. Like the fact that you're even doing that, I'm in shock.
On my very first drive, my dad got his phone out to record, and I told him, "Do not record me. I don't want this. This is my very I've used a driver before, but like this is my first drive of us. I didn't even warm up. Apparently, you're supposed to do that." So he put his phone down. I drove it perfectly, and I was like, "Dang it, he missed it."
I'm just gonna take lessons from you. Well, okay. First of all, no one's ever in my life told me I have natural born talent on the golf course. No, it hasn't happened. Hasn't happened.
It feels pretty good.
So yeah, I bet. No, I suck so bad. But like we've talked about this, and I don't know if we've talked about this on the podcast necessarily, but like something is wrong with me. Like many things are wrong with me, but like how I hold a pencil.
Oh,
I can't. I think I've diagnosed myself with dysgraphia. How I hold a pencil translates into how I do everything else. Like
you're
I am
also
goofy.
Naturally left-handed, I think, but you were raised to be right-handed.
Yes. So whenever I was a little child,
a little tyke,
a little baby angel, someone said we will not hold the pencil with our left hand, little devil child, and so I hold my pencil with my right hand. But I'm more like ambidextrous now, and I just like kind of do everything backwards. It's not good.
And then that translates into golf.
It is a challenge. honestly, to do almost anything athletically, like I'm like somewhat athletic. Like I can do.
You did cheerleading in high school.
Yeah, and like I could tumble and stun, whatever. And I could do like I can play pickleball or play tennis or whatever. Like not well, but I can do it. But I think golf, because you have to have like your grip is so important. And I do something so weird with my back and how I hold my hands. But it's like I think swinging that way is so not natural. But I'm not going to invest in left-handed clubs. I'm just going to
have to really learn how to do the
I think I need lessons.
Yeah. Hey, I will take lessons.
To golf.
It was honestly so fun. And the kids are old enough now that they came with us. They ran around the whole time. I will say though, doing 9 holes was exhausting.
Dude, it's hard.
My muscles weren't tired. Like I didn't feel like I had a workout, but it was just an overall feeling drained. And Matt told me, like reassured me that's very normal for your first 9 holes. But I'm like, well, I can go work out. I didn't understand like how I couldn't like do 18. I was done after 9. I told Matt, I was like, I'm finished. I can't do it anymore.
Holes of golf. I'm so done by hole 14. And 4 more holes is like actual torture.
Well, and I will say my attention span is built for 9 holes. I feel that. Not built for 18. And so honestly, going out for 9 holes like a Sunday
like the
afternoon.
Twilight situation?
Yes. Yeah. I know. I'm down. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Golf girls.
No, I want to teach Fielding how to golf because I see these like little 2-year-olds being basically pro golfers on
it's
TikTok,
pretty incredible. Yeah.
And I'm like, but if we taught Fielding like to do the skill, I think he would do it. Or if we showed him like Happy Gilmore.
Yes.
He would copy it because he copies all the movies. Yeah. So maybe.
Matt's mission is to make sure Addie's really good at golf. That way she can get scholarships in high school.
Hell yeah.
So, Addie, I hope you enjoy golf because either way.
You're playing it. Well, I'm really excited for you. And I'm also jealous.
It's okay. Thank you for admitting those
I'm green with envy. I'm like a lasagna of feelings right now. It's so layered.
But I am worried that I would go with you guys and then I would just suck it up.
Kortnie, there's no chance on God's green diddly-dally earth that you would be worth it. Worth than me.
Worth than me.
Worth than me at talking and the golfing. I am not good.
You are Happy Gilmore, or is that Waterboy that talks like that?
It's Adam Sandler. All the same. Same shit, different toilet. Yeah, sick. Well, I'm really happy for you.
Thanks. Let's move on from our sports talk.
Yeah, sports girls. I didn't do my homework that you and Claire assigned me. I'm sorry.
So, Claire, your aunt.
My dear old auntie.
I always forget because you guys are the same age, basically.
She's like 6 years older than me, but she's my aunt.
So I love it because she's one of our hype girls that we have, and she'll text us and, give us all the compliments about our podcast. And then she also texted and said that we really need to stop talking about books, that we need to talk more about TV shows. And she gave us an assignment. And if people give me an assignment, just like in my elementary years, I do it. I'm afraid to fail. I'm afraid to make a 0 on an assignment.
That's where our personalities are so completely different because I'm like, fuck you. I'll watch it if I want to watch it.
And I'm like, oh, well, it's on my to-do list now. But literally, it is.
Whatever. Yeah.
So I started the show on Netflix called Your Honor. It has Bryan Cranston in it.
Oh.
Who I cannot say how much I love Bryan Cranston. He is an amazing actor. He, just every role that he's in, he absorbs.
Did you watch Breaking Bad?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yes.
I watched Breaking Bad when I was in college.
Obsessed with Breaking Bad.
Good. So good.
I just feel like just watching him in his role, I'm just amazed. And I was also thinking, those actors where you're like, you love them so much and then some shitty thing comes out about them. I'm like,
Kevin Spacey.
Dear God, Bryan Cranston, please do not have anything ever bad come out about you because you're an angel.
But also, here's what I think, Bryan Cranston's, my ick for Bryan Cranston is.
What?
That he was the dad for Malcolm in the Middle.
No, that makes me love him.
And he was so cringy and overacting and theater kid. When I watch clips of Malcolm in the Middle, I'm like, yucky.
I haven't seen that in years, so I
don't like sitcoms like that, though. That's not my jam.
See, I grew up loving Malcolm in the Middle. Loved it.
I was too busy in my youth watching Desperate Housewives and Grey's Anatomy, and so that is why
so much. It explains so much.
I'm so devious. Yeah.
So the show itself, though,
so good,
really good. I'm only on episode 3 because Claire did not disclose that it's 2 seasons. So there's no way I could have finished my homework. But I do feel like I got a good enough grasp about what the show's about.
Yeah.
And
can we get a quick little synopsis? Little synopsis.
So,
it's really beautiful.
The dad, Bryan Cranston, he is a judge, and his son does a hit and run. It's a little bit more nuanced than that. Like, the son is not a horrible person. He accidentally hit someone on a motorcycle, and he was having an asthma attack. Like, he was looking down for his inhaler. This isn't a spoiler. Like, this is just in the first episode. I guess
I just don't trust you to say. I just wholeheartedly don't trust this is not a spoiler.
It's a synopsis.
There's not a part of me that believes that you did just ruin the show for some people.
So, anyways, his dad is a judge, and so he knows the whole judicial system, and so he takes on the role of trying to protect his son because the kid that he hit on the motorcycle, it's not funny. I'm laughing because I'm afraid I'm spoiling it.
You definitely are. Go ahead.
The kid that he hit on the motorcycle, his family is like mafia.
Oh,
and so the dad was going to turn him in, like with him, they were going to go down to the police station, and then they realized like, oh, this family is going to kill my son. So as a parent, it does pose the question of what lengths would you go to protect your child? Here's another maybe spoiler. This is all in episode 1.
Go ahead.
The 17-year-old kid accidentally gets framed for the murder. Like, he's in prison now.
Oh, shit.
So,
but it's not Bryan Cranston's son. It's another person.
It's another person.
Ew, spicy.
Well, and Bryan Cranston's son is white. The kid that gets framed is black.
Oh, shit.
So it just brings on a lot of layers.
Oh,
Claire,
shit.
you did not tell me
Claire,
how
I thought it was a comedy. I just assumed. Imagine my surprise if I turned that on, just raw dogging it. I would have been like, what?
Really intense. And it's one of those shows that just keeps you thinking of like, what would you do in that situation? So I'm on episode 3. I'll keep you guys updated, but so far so good. So watch along with me and we can spoil it together.
Yeah, perfect. I just know like my feelings on situations like that were so different before I had a child, because I was like, no, right is right, wrong is wrong. And white. I'm going to turn my child in. Now that I have a child.
Well, if you knew that turning him in would get him killed.
I don't know.
But then
don't come at me, guys.
But then it's like if someone else gets framed for that same thing,
or if like God forbid something happened to him and the person didn't get like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like it, like if we Uno reverse the situation, like I would want whoever committed the crime
to come out and do what's right.
I guess. I don't really know.
And then just maybe like put in like SWAT team around his son 24/7.
I'm just going to keep Fielding in the house.
That's the only
and he's never allowed to leave. He's never allowed to drive. He's not allowed to go to school. He's not allowed to go in public.
Have so much fun.
He's gonna be like the guy from Benchwarmers that's in the closet that's like scared of sunlight. Have you seen Benchwarmers?
It's been a while.
The one that like hisses. I don't know why I'm acting like you're gonna
I'm only thinking of, it's like Bubble Boy or something, and it's like a kid that literally lives in like a plastic bubble.
It's gonna be Fielding. Like, we're not doing this. I'm not playing this shit. Like, I watched too many things where I'm like, oh my God, like parenting doesn't stop being stressful ever.
Nope. Ever.
For the rest of our lives, we're going to live
when
with
you
this
think you're in the clear.
Stress.
You're not. There's a million things that can go wrong. And so
scary.
Yeah, I think that's the only solution is making them be little hermit crabs.
Yeah, I think that's it.
I love it.
Speaking of problems arising, if you're thinking, wow, Emily, if you're watching this on YouTube, your carpet looks so fresh and shampooed. Well, let me tell you a tale. I came in here to plug in the soundboard and make sure it was charged. And I stumbled upon diarrhea via my 100-pound German Shepherd.
Gotta love it.
So that was, I don't know, 30 minutes ago at this point. Connor, my sweet angel husband, cleaned it and shampooed the carpets before we recorded.
I walked in. I'm like, God, what is that noise? What are they doing? And then I walk in and he's shampooing the carpet and then I see the shit stain. So you gotta love dogs because you have floors all throughout your house that would be so much easier to clean than
wood
carpet
floors
right
everywhere.
Carpet that's right in front of where we are about to record.
Both of my children asked Connor, why do both of our kids want to sabotage my podcast? Because Fielding has colored on my chair with marker and pen. He colored on it with ballpoint pen the day we got these chairs. But he's colored on my cushion with markers no less than 5 times. And now Harper's shitting on the carpet right in front of the like chair. They don't want me to be successful. They're honestly intimidated by my success because they think it's going to take me away from them. And like, I just want you guys to know it's not. I mean, Harper probably, but Fielding, bubble boy attached to my hip. Don't worry, you don't have to keep trying to ruin mommy's chairs.
I'm only gone for an hour out of the day.
All good.
That's it. An hour out of one day a week.
It's not acceptable.
Yeah,
it's not acceptable to them. So, anyways, that's my burden to bear. It's my cross to bear.
Yeah.
And I'm bearing it well. Yeah. And I hope it doesn't smell like shit too bad to you.
No, I can't smell, so problem
And that's
solved.
why we're friends. Because I got a dog with a leaky ass.
Problem solved. I can't smell anything, so you put this candle over here. I can barely smell the candle.
I put a real strong candle over here because I was like, I'm not doing this. Not today. Well, we did our boiling oil that Grace wanted you to do so bad.
What have you been reading anything?
Duh. I'm still reading Tower of Dawn. I'm just like, it's just a little slower. But I did, when Kortnie was here, staying at my house, she was looking for a book. And I was like, oh, I don't have that book you want. But you know what you should read? Assassin's Blade. It's the prequel to the series I'm reading. And she was like, I don't know. And Kortnie, describe your experience.
It is so good.
I told you! I'm so excited!
The funny thing is, you said, oh, this book can be read in a day or two. Well, I'm not very far in the book, but I haven't picked it up.
It's also longer than, so like I read these books on a file on my phone because I read them like, so it's hard for me to gauge like the actual length of the book.
Yeah.
Because it's like
doesn't seem
90,000
like a long
page
book.
file.
I've just been busy, and so I haven't picked it back up, but it is so good, guys. I thought that I was like stuck in my little genres. I've spread my wings. I'm ready to fly.
Your literal wings in fantasy. Fantasy genre, like
I'm a peacock. You have to let me fly.
Oh, you did a movie quote. I'm so proud of you. And it's one of the best movies.
Yeah, the only
I'm really proud of you right now. Baby's first movie quote. No, I'm literally so excited that you're reading these books, and I pray to God you will continue because it is such a journey, and it's so like, I don't even know another word to describe it that doesn't sound patronizing, but like rewarding. Like when you get to the end of like a series that is just such a tale and like so, I don't know.
Well, I like the book because it reminds me of Game of Thrones, which I watched.
Yes,
and we're currently watching House of Dragons. And it's similar in the way of like, it's realistic fantasy, I guess. Yeah. And I like that. It's like setting the tone for everything. And so it's like kind of pirates and, I don't know, like
assassins,
gross pirates in a bar. Like I don't even know like how to explain.
Well, that's a thing
the
that
setting of it.
I
but
told
it's so
you
good.
About like Sarah J. Maas in general because like her more popular books are Court of Thorns and Roses, and Connor likes to call those fairy porn because like they're fairies.
Yeah.
And it is sexually explicit, but like on its face, when you say something like that, it's like, that sounds like the dumbest shit you've ever heard. But when you read it, they put you in a way that it's not like Tinkerbell, like boning. It's like, it's more, I don't know. It's so much better. It's so much more like
it's sophisticated than it seems. It's hard to explain it. Well, like whenever you're explaining it to somebody or to me, I'm like, I don't know about this. And you really just have to jump head first. So Assassin's Blade, that's the, what series is it? Throne of Glass.
Okay. It's a Throne of Glass series. So Assassin's Blade is like a prequel that she wrote. I think she wrote it in the middle of like all of these books. It's an 8-book series. And Assassin's Blade is one of them. So it's kind of like the prequel. When I read it the first time, the whole series, I read Assassin's Blade last. But I do think if you're going to like go with the books, if you're deciding to do the undertaking of reading this whole series, I think you should read Assassin's Blade first because it gives you a lot more context for later. It's not necessarily so important in the first 2 books, but like once you get to books like 3, 4, 5, it's very helpful to like know who these characters are, and you'll kind of like just have some familiarity with like callbacks of who these people are, and like you see them again or you don't see them again or what they do, and it's so good. I just like really need you to keep reading.
Yeah, no, I
even if it takes you the rest of the year, let's do it. Okay. It's so good.
Yeah, I'm ready for it. Once I started it, I'm like, okay, I'm motivated. So my goal is to read some tonight. And just keep it going like throughout the week. So
good luck because we're
so fun.
Having a little soiree tonight.
Yes, a soiree. And also it's just fun fact about me right now is, and this is moving on into like kind of mom stuff. Yeah. My kids are so off schedule and like getting them down to bed right now is such a feat. And by the time we get them down to bed, it's late. And that's normally my like time to either watch a show or read. And we've been so off schedule this past week because we were in Oklahoma and then we were over at your house. And it's like, I mean, honestly, it's like, It's a two-edged sword. My kids are off schedule. It's going to be a pain to get them back on, but also we had so much fun spending time with everybody that it's worth it. But now I'm like, all right, we got to get back into the swing of things because Tucker is fighting nap time now because bedtime's off. So we're just not into our normal day-to-day again and ready to get back into that. So
and it'll be different too once school starts because we're in our second to last week of summer.
I can't think like that. That's
emotionally,
not okay. I'm not ready.
I'm unwell.
So here's the thing about summer, and it's so annoying, to talk about it, the same thing every summer. But I feel like I was very intentional this summer with what I wanted to do, how I wanted to spend my time with the kids, and it's still gone in a flash.
You blink and it is done.
And I'm kind of pissed because there's still, I can say we had a really good summer.
Yeah.
But there's still things I want to go do.
Well, we were even talking about Play Street Museum was this little place. We took Fielding for his first birthday, and Kortnie and Addie went with me. And I was like, oh, it's $13 to go. They get a snack, and it's just cute. It's a kind of Montessori-ish play. They just have a little town, and they can go play and all the stuff. And Fielding's older now. I think he would love it. We haven't gone.
Yeah.
What have we been doing?
I know. What are we doing with our lives?
What's happening? And so it's just funny. I'm like, what? How have we not done that? And we're gonna blink and it's gonna be over.
I know.
So and work's going to start again, and I'm going to start working from the beach because I'll be on the beach.
Yeah, good for you. Starts. No, that's amazing.
Oopsies.
That's
Don't listen, teachers.
There's a pro to working from home. So
yeah, I know. Are you nervous about starting to work from home?
No, I'm not nervous. I'm really excited. But the last week of July, my plan is to get the office set up. My office space, because everything's in the garage right now that I took home. The last day of school is still there. It's so bad. And so my plan is to get everything set up, and my mother-in-law is going to come in and help. Good. And so that's nice because that'll give us more time.
We also don't have daycare. The first 2 weeks we're back at school.
Yes.
Because our daycare follows the district we live in, and they don't follow in-service days. They follow the kids' schedule. So
it's figuring out how to finagle that. And I think it's hard. The only hard thing for me right now is I have no idea on my schedule. Whenever you're working in person, I know my schedule. I'm going to be there from 7:30 to 4.
Yeah. And that is what it is. And there's no doubt about it.
There's in-betweens, but I know my schedule is going to be packed full of groups back to back.
Yeah.
And I know the way I've come to understand this job is that I will have flexibility. I think I can go to the gym in the middle of the day on my lunch break.
If you've got a gap.
Is my plan.
Goodbye.
So I'm already thinking ahead to that, but I just have no idea what time I'll start my day. So it just makes it hard for childcare.
Well, and I started last January. I don't know what time my day is going to start either because it can change every semester, every year. So I'm interested to see what our schedules are going to look like. But it's still so much more chill than being a person. It's crazy.
I'm really excited for it. I'm excited to even get to do all of my professional development on the computer, not having to go in person.
Oh my God.
Because that takes up 2 weeks of your summer whenever you work with the district.
And I don't know about you, but I had to do something called verbal judo.
Nope, never heard of it.
Last year.
What is that?
Oh my God. This is where education just loses me as a human. Because I'm not an educator by nature or trade necessarily. I fell into teaching and I love teaching and I love educating, and I can see myself teaching for the rest of my life because I like teaching people things.
Yeah.
But the day-to-day bullshittery of teaching and the education system, this is an example. Our school, my campus was a high school, ninth grade through 12th grade, and they paid, I'm assuming, an exorbitant amount of money for these people to come out and teach us the art of verbal judo. And as stupid as it sounds, it's basically how to de-escalate situations with kids verbally and not make them more mad because everything's your fault as the teacher.
Well, and usually how to de-escalate a situation is to shut your mouth. Coming from a teacher who taught behavior for 2 years.
Exactly.
It
was
away.
Them teaching us strategies. I understand. It was how you talk to toddlers, how people teach you. I understand that you're feeling X, but you need to do Y. It was just very much
oh, that's okay. We do that at the elementary level, but not high school.
Well, the way I'm saying it is very reductive. It sounds like it might be a good concept. It was the most horrific thing I've ever sat through. 4 hours.
4 hours
with a workbook, and they were showing us scenarios, and then they were telling us one example that they told us was that you're at fault as a teacher if you like kick a kid out of your classroom and the kid goes and does something bad in the hallway. So the example this man gave us was a female teacher kicked a male student out of her classroom because he was being disruptive. And he was so upset that he went into the bathroom and sexually assaulted a female student. And the teacher got charged with like, that was a real life example? Yes. And I was like, first of all, like, go fuck yourself, because it is not my responsibility.
Whoa.
Like, I'm at fault that for this kid's actions? That's crazy.
Well, and what I want to know, because most of the time, if these trainers come in talking like that, they have no ounce of education background.
And that's what this guy was, like, military, not a good speaker. Like, sorry, verbal judo community, if you're listening. It was the shittiest.
Niche, but in case you're listening.
No, it was like the shittiest. And my friends from AHS, oops. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. I don't work there anymore. Okay. And that's very broad. I didn't say the name. But my friends from my school that I worked at, like, we all felt the same way. It was such a misuse of our time. It was like things that we already knew. I know how to talk to kids. If I don't know how to talk to kids, I shouldn't be in education. And like, if you're going to be so gung-ho and crazy with kids and like riling them up, like there's a time and a place where you can lay your foot down.
Yeah.
But also, like, you have to be empathetic with the kids, especially when they're teenagers.
You do have to remind yourself that doesn't come naturally for everybody. Now, I think that training, it was
I'm just
what is that called?
Counterproductive.
Counterproductive. Like, I don't think that did anything for you guys. I do think that there is a time and place to, like, coach on how to talk
like empathy, kids. To be empathetic.
Yes. But if you go in talking to high schoolers like that, they're going to the stories you tell, yeah, they're going to roll their eyes, they're going to flip you off and walk off. They don't care what you have to say about their feelings. But on the other side, I've seen teachers that like go at them so freaking hard and are so aggressive, and it's like that's also not the way to be, because see, for those teachers, I think something along those lines. But you don't need a 4-hour training.
But they're also, the thing is, people are not receptive to change.
That's true. The people who are talking to kids like that are not going to have an epiphany from one training.
And typically the people that are talking to the kids like that, in my experience that I've seen, are people that have been teaching for 20 years.
Yeah.
It's not the new teachers. It's the new teachers that come in and are like softer and more gentle. And then you've got like the middle of the road teachers, which is kind of where like I feel like I'm at and you're at. Like, I know how to put my foot down, but I also like can do it with like a gentle touch.
Yeah.
And then you have the teachers that have been doing it and are so tired of the education system and like the campuses and the administration.
But it's like too late for them to.
They're not going to change.
To switch. Well, it's too late for them to switch.
Yeah.
Careers, but it's too early for them to retire.
Yep.
And they're burnout and they're tired. And I do grouchy. Get, I get that side of it. Like, I hope that I would never become like that grouchy. I hope that I would just find something else if it came down to it. But I mean, it does wear on you. The public school system in general, no matter how good of a school you teach at, like, I love my school that I just came from. Love it. And it's still just in general, education wears on you after a while. You have to have thick skin, and you just have to be able to like keep your head down and like just do your job and do what you can for the kids, because all the outside like BS that comes in, or all the outside trainings that are so BS, it's like, all right, well, I'm going to do this to like mark off like basically like my checklist, and then I've got to move on, because man, it will just wear you down.
Yeah, that is for
So just in case you guys wanted to be educated on education system.
Well, I think it's like people.
It's good to know, though.
People that listen also like a lot of them have young children that are like going to enter public schools soon, and it's like, I think one thing that I've learned myself from education is like, side with the teacher over your child if you can. And I know that's a very tall order. Not side is the wrong word. Ally with your teacher on how to make effective change for your student. Because
and hear the teacher out, because guess what? You can have the best kid in the class and you never know the full situation.
And let me tell you something. Your kid's not the best one in the class.
And,
you think they are? You're like, my baby would never. False. I see your baby doing crazy shit. You like, I love that you think that that's whatever, but like then you come and like MF me, and I'm trying to figure out how we can like make this work together. I want your help. Now I don't care.
Well, and guess what? 99.9% of the time, we won't talk about the 0.1% of teachers who are a disgrace to the teaching
but they exist.
Education. But 99.9% of the time, teachers are truly trying to do what's best for the kids.
Absolutely.
They truly are. Just know their intentions are always there. And so as a parent, if you just go to the teacher offer support or offer, hey, like, how can I back you up here at home? Because that's a lot what we see. It's like, I think now parenting is moving into, it's evolved into making excuses for your kids instead of saying, you know what they did was not okay. We will take care of that at home, however we choose, right? Yeah. It could be an array of things, but the problem is parents are saying, well, not my kid. My kid would never do that. Oh, well, they must have just been off that day or they must not have been feeling well. No, like you can't make excuses for your kids.
It's like we talk about all the time. Like you can make excuses and do those things. You are making your child have a harder time in the future because someday when they go to jobs, like my principal doesn't care if I am in a bad mood that day. Like that's not their concern. Do your job. And like, that's what I would tell my kids. And obviously my kids were so much older. So it's hard because like I taught freshmen, juniors, seniors. So my last year I taught juniors. So they're 16, 17 years old. It's like, I'm here to do a job. You're here to do a job. Don't make it hard for me to do my job and I won't do that for you. Right. But like, I mean, my last semester teaching, without getting too specific, I had a kid that was on his phone during a test and I took his test, like they do them on computer. So I disabled his test, stopped it, whatever. My conference period was the next class period. So I went and called mom. She starts cussing me out. You didn't let my son take his test because he has accommodations. He's supposed to be able to put his phone. And it's like there are no accommodations and no special education accommodations or modifications, whatever, that
specify that
you can have your phone during a test. No. Unless you're a type 1 diabetic, which I had a student that was like that, and she and I had a deal. Like, she kept her phone on the corner of her desk, and if it beeped, I knew her specific things. This kid didn't have that. The mom is threatening me, telling me she's going to the district, telling me she knows TEA's rules, I mean, going off on me, threatens to come to the school and beat my ass. I've never cried teaching. That she like broke me that day. And that was my last semester of teaching in person. And that was a big push for me to get out because I was like, this is the like cherry on top. I am done with you people. So anyways, that's my soapbox on education. I don't know how we got here or how we're going to get out.
You know what? I'm here for it. The unfortunate thing is I could talk about education forever.
You've been doing it literally double the time with me. And I feel like elementary school, it's just so different. I feel like teaching high school and teaching elementary, like there's things that are very similar, but it's like a different world.
It is. No, it's truly totally a different world because my kids are still little babies that like most of the time are like just so sweet and like they want to do well and they try, and it's just funny. We're so different in that way. I can't picture myself ever teaching at a high school and you vice versa at elementary, and like elementary babies, like that's my passion is.
I say this all the time. Whenever Connor and I lived in a camper at one point, which I don't even think we've gotten really into, but I like traveled with Connor for work, and I subbed in Paris, Texas. There's a real Eiffel Tower there with a cowboy hat on it. But I subbed in Paris, Texas a little bit, and I subbed kindergarten for a half day.
I love kinder babies.
I subbed kinder for half a day. It was just the afternoon. These little turds, first of all, they walked all over me. It was my first sub job ever. They were like, oh, Miss Diggles, or whatever her name was. Miss Diggles lets us take our shoes off after recess.
Oh, they will do that?
And I was like, what? Like, okay. And then they're like, oh, Miss Diggles actually gives us every single person a wipe for the table. No, we ran out of wipes. So then finally, like, I think a para or someone came in and she was like, what is going on in here? Because they're like, they all got to put their shoes back on, but they can't tie their freaking shoes. So I'm like, God damn, like, tying all these shoes. And then we're on the playground and they're like, Miss Diggles usually picks us up and lets us do the monkey bars. I'm picking these kids up. It's 100 degrees outside. God. And I have tattoos, so I'm wearing long sleeves and I'm wearing heels because it's my first sub. Like, I'm just like trying to be so professional. Yeah. These kids,
guess what?
They saw me coming from a mile away and they got my ass. These 5-year-olds. Dude,
they're some smart kids.
No, it was like, because in my mind, like, no, if you're not in education, like 5 years old, I'm like, babies, tiny baby angels. Can they talk? Yeah. Can they use a toilet? Like, I don't really know. Are they able to communicate with
Meanwhile, they've already formed a dictatorship for when their teacher comes back.
My God, they were freaking.
Their teacher comes back and she's thinking, I'm gone for one day and this is what happens.
For sure. She probably like would never have recommended me for a job. It was terrible.
No, it wasn't you. It was them.
I know. Well, but then it was me because I made 3 of them cry within like 4 hours because I just like don't know how to talk to kids that age. And I was 23 at the time. Like I was a child also. And I mean, you know me, I'm just like more dry. And so, and like things that
you probably told a sarcastic joke and they didn't understand.
Sure. Well, and like things like, like being the line leader. I'm like, who gives a fuck about line leader? Like, yeah, you can be line leader, Penny.
They take it so
I
seriously.
a girl was like, can I be line leader? And I was like, go for it, homie. Like, get up there. This other kid is sobbing. And I'm like, what is happening?
Because guess what? They've waited 20
supposed to be
they've waited 20 school days to be line leader.
Oh my God. Like, we can both be line leader. No. I'm like, oh my God. And
because they do a rotation. And so this kid has waited all this time to be line leader for the day.
Baby girl teacher, leave that in the notes, homie. I don't know. Like, we're just walking to the bathroom.
No, for real.
We're walking to the bathroom down the hall. It's fine. We'll form another line so you can be line leader. I don't give a shit. That kind of stuff to me, like, I cannot handle those minute, like, little nuances of kids. I have a very hard time with that. And that's something I've gotten better having my own child, but I still do struggle with those things. Like, hey, be flexible. It's all good.
Yeah.
It is all good. I had another kid cry because I had to teach him about balances, like scales, and they wanted to put stuff in, and they were like, it's my turn to put stuff in. I'm like, oh my God, calm down.
They take their jobs very seriously.
They do, and they do. They like, did you ever see that Ninja Cat video?
I don't
years
know.
and years. Yeah, why am I asking?
Well, now I'm just like a ninja cat. It's so random.
No, because there was this video of this cat, like, this person has a camera. Obviously, this is like probably 2008. And they're like panning away, panning back. And the cat gets closer every time they pan away, but you don't ever see the cat move. It's just like somehow closer, like without any movement. And finally at the end, it's like in their face. These kids were ninja catting me when we were doing reading time. Like we're sitting on their dots. And I swear to you, none of them moved. They levitated. They moved by osmosis. I don't know what happened. They slowly encroached on me so hard. And then I'd be like, 2 steps back, because you know my personal space. I'm like, get the hell away from me.
They're all about to be in your lap.
Oh no, they were all trying to be in my lap. There was a spider. I made them kill it. They're all crying. I'm like, I'm not made for kinder. I'm not made for it. I'm not. I need high school kids that I'm like, you need to be at arm's length away, buddy. You're too close to me.
Yeah,
back up.
Yeah,
and they're like, oh, Miss L, you're so funny. I'm like, no,
for real. I
back
need
up.
You to back up.
Back up. So, anyways,
fun times. Yeah. Teaching, man.
What a ride. Do you have any mom traumas this week?
I do. Yeah. First of all, I was going to be a little bit vulnerable.
Oh, please.
This week. My patience has been wearing thin. And
it's into summer.
Man, I'm having to like find myself like recentering myself, I guess, like taking a step away. Like the other day I told Matt I tap out. Like, I tap out. I had to walk away, and he handled the situation. I won't go into that. But, you know, it wasn't anything bad. It's just, I don't want to embarrass my kids, you know, later on.
No, I know what you mean.
But it has been really hard this last week. And like I said, we've been off schedule. We haven't been in our house. I think all of that plays into it. And I find myself like either getting annoyed very easily or like on edge or I'm like yelling all of a sudden and yelling in the way I'm like not yelling obscenities at these kids, but I'm like, get on your shoes, you know, I don't know. And I just feel so freaking guilty. And I know everyone say, oh, it's normal. But like at the end of the night, whenever I'm living with so much guilt and I'm like regretting the day because of how I've handled the situations, it's hard, man.
I know.
It's so hard.
That is such a hard part of parenting. And I think no matter how gentle or hard you want to parent, like there's always going to be an amount of guilt that's associated with it. And like, I get it. They're like, and once they're being sweet and like laying down and being little angels, you're like, how could I ever be mean to you? How could I like talk to?
How could I talk to them like that, or like get short with them, or like just like kind of, you know, I like my not fuse. I don't want to say fuse. I do not blow up, but like I kind of shut down of like, okay, and then I'll like be very short with my answers to them or to Addie, whatever, and then I just feel so guilty of like, how can I just be nice all the time? Like, I just, you know.
But the thing is, like, they are learning human interaction from you.
I know, that's what scares me.
No, but they have to know there are limits. Because if you were so nice all the time, they wouldn't think there's no such thing as a boundary. Yeah. And they have to learn. And I mean, I think Addie is more testing you because she's just at a harder age.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, Tucker and Fielding will do it to us eventually. It's just like Addie can talk.
She's verbal.
And she can share her feelings and be like, I'm frustrated with you. And it's like, okay, bitch. Well, like it's really hard whenever like you have a 4-year-old telling you like you made me mad today. Like or she told me, don't say anything. My mom's gonna get me in trouble. I said, no. Your mom doesn't get you in trouble. You get yourself in trouble, and mom deals with this. But it's so fun. Like so she's. I think it's hard because she's able to verbalize so much, but she also is not like able to comprehend as much as she can verbalize.
Yeah.
So it's like her brain hasn't caught up to what her speech is. So she seems like so old.
Yes.
And she's not. She's a baby still.
I know. And I have to remind myself because I literally was telling Matt this the other day. I'm like, she talks like she's a 14-year-old.
Literally.
But yet I have to remember her brain is still 4.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like I've got to give this girl some slack because she talks like she's an adult. And so I treat her as one, not as an adult, but I treat her older than I expect more from her.
Right.
Whenever I'm like, she's only 4.
I
like
know.
she's a baby, not a baby, but like she's my baby
she's
still.
A baby.
And it's just.
And she's had a lot of change in the last couple of years with the boys being born.
Yeah.
Because she truly was like, oh, like
she was
on a pedestal so hard. She was the only baby for cherub, 2.5 years. And then boom, boom, we have both boys. And we're like, you're not a baby, back up. Like,
I know,
and
I know.
hard.
And it's hard on her. And man, there's something else I was going to say just along those lines. But anyways, I mean, I know it's part of parenting. And I guess, that's what I was going to say. Like at the end of the day, I will say I'm okay about like apologizing. I don't want to say I'm perfect at it, but like I do try to apologize to her. And I think that's when more important. I mess up because I'm like, hey, I'm sorry. Like that was what I tell her because I've talked to my like kids at school like this of like big reactions to small problems is what we do. And so I told Addie like, hey, I'm sorry. Like I had a big reaction to something that didn't matter. That was very small. And so I hope she knows at the end of the day, like, my intentions are always there, but they're just not always going to hit the target.
But I think teaching her like that it is okay to overreact, feel your feelings, and then go back and say, I'm sorry, I didn't handle that correctly. That is a more valuable skill than being like, my mom was so happy and kind and perfect all the time. Why can't I think?
But on the other side of it, I have to remember that like when she has a big reaction to something, I've got to just hold it. I've got to hold space for it because with kids, all we want to do is like, no, I need you to get it together. And it's like, well, wait, I just had a big reaction. She's learned from me. She needs space to have that. And then like obviously coach her through it of like what to do after to repair that.
But you do such a good job at that. You literally do such a good job.
Like
Addie will be freaking out and you're like, you need to take a couple of deep breaths. Would you like me to do the deep breaths with you? Or do you want to do them on your own? And she'll tell you. And then you do, you know what I mean? Like those things. And I've learned those from you because I'm like, oh shit. I'd be like, go to your room. Get away from me.
I mean, no, there are times.
There are times where it happens.
The other day, I mean, I was like, I need some space. Like I need you to, I'm really frustrated right now. But then I'm like, damn, people say like, you listen to like TikToks or other podcasts and they're like, well, but you shouldn't put your feelings on them. Like they shouldn't ever think like, well, I'm frustrated because of you, which I try to watch my wording and how I word it. But like she's so smart. She picks up on it. She knows I'm frustrated because of her. But the thing, and then I feel so guilty because I see the look in her eyes. I'm like, Mom.
But it's like we talked about with just like teaching and stuff. I think when you get to the point of parenting where you're so scared to hurt your child's feelings and so scared to put the world's feelings on them, you create this monster because you're not teaching them how to cope with regular life. And like at the end of the day, they're going to come into contact with people that are not emotionally intelligent whatsoever, whether it be people they date, whether it be a boss, a teacher, a coach, whatever. Like you have to teach them to be strong people and resilient and like also that to kind of read social cues. Because I think the parents that are, I'm like, no offense if this is what you're doing, but like super uber crazy gentle parenting. Like no interaction, everything you do is fine. We're all good. I think you're creating a beast because I think, and that may be like a radical thing to say, but I think what you're doing is creating these kids that don't know how to interact with the rest of the world.
Well, and we're saying that because we see the tail end of it through the education system. So it's like we kind of have a dual vision for it.
Absolutely.
Of like we can see, with our own parenting and then others.
Well, and like I get it. Like I think my son is the most special, genius, unique, wonderful person in the world. And I get that and I want him to be treated as such. However, it's also very important to teach your kids that the world does not, like the sun doesn't rise and set on their heads. To everyone. To me, it does. Like I think you are the most wonderful person. And that's like our jobs. And they should
know that like that's how you view them.
We love them so much. And like they could never do anything that would change that love. There are going to be times where I don't like you very much and that's okay. But like the world is not going to view you that way. So view things kind of in a cynical way is like how I want to teach fielding. Like, I mean, be optimistic for like what you can accomplish.
Do you mean not necessarily cynical? I don't know if that's the right word. Like, do you feel like you want him to like question things? Like,
but like that's cynical. Like I'm saying like don't assume the best in people. And that may be like an ugly way to view the world, but like you can't. Like you can't assume the best. The only person you can truly change and control is yourself.
I know. That's hard though, because it's like you want them to see like the good in the world though too. So
it's like I want that, but I also don't want them to like join like the Peace Corps and like go live in Uganda and get malaria and die. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's different people are going to be called to different things. And I think it's like nature nurture is such a blend that it's like hard to pinpoint both. I don't know. And that's just like my philosophy. There's 1,000 other ways to parent. There's a million ways to parent.
Yeah.
But for me, I think like my life experiences have led me to feel like teaching my kid to protect himself against everybody, even if that is like kind of a defensive like way to live, is really a valuable skill because like he has to know the only person he can control is himself, and he can't change or control what anyone else is going to do.
I think with like Addie and Tuck, it's like basically I think the end game's the same, but like the approach is a little different of like how I want to go about it. And it's more like I want them to like see the good in the world, but like question things too, like question everything. And even if that does mean like questioning someone's motives, but like I want them to see that like there is good in this world, but they have to find their place in it of like, where is that good? Because if you're keeping company or whatever with the bad in the world, like you are going to see that. Yeah. So it's like, seek out where, like, find your people and your community of like where you can see the good. So yeah. That's a long-term vision though, you know? And it's a lot.
Parenting is a long-term vision in general.
And it's so much pressure on everything. Because I'm like, if I do this one thing wrong, it's going to screw
them
up.
You're telling me that I have to teach this kid how to shit in a toilet, how to sleep through the night, how to eat normal food. And
guess what?
How to get a balanced diet.
Those are the easy things to teach them.
And then you want me to also teach them how to drive, how to navigate social norms, how to fucking vote, how to have a family. What? I don't know what I'm doing. How am I supposed to teach a freaking kid this?
I know. Like, hey, right there with you.
Oh my God. I'm like, I am 29 years old and I barely understand how to register to vote. How am I supposed to teach a kid to piss in a urinal?
And that's the easy stuff to do.
And your girls out here struggling.
The hard stuff is when they're teenagers, because I hear from a good friend of mine, and I'll leave out names and stuff, but like, you know, and her family is like the best little family. I look up to them so much, but you know, you hear about all the little things that come with having teenagers, and like you just want to protect them, and you want, and I mean, she is raising like good freaking kids.
They are angels. I know exactly what you're talking about.
They're good freaking kids, but it's like you see the ugly side of like what's done to them because they're good freaking kids, and I'm like, I just, you know, at the end of the day, you just want to raise good humans.
Yes,
that's all I can ask for. I want kids that like are good to the world. They're good to themselves. Yeah. They appreciate others as much as they appreciate themselves. Yes. You know, and God, but I'm
that's
like,
a tall order.
How do I do that?
That's a tall order, because guess what? Your girl was not nice to herself as a teenager. What, like we've talked about this before, but like I look at myself now, and I have grown so much as a human in the last 10 years, probably, really, since I met Connor. Like he has just made me a more emotionally intelligent and intuitive person. But I'm like, myself in high school, who was that person? Like, I don't even know. I literally don't even know. And so you also have to, like, you want to raise good people, but you also want to give them room to make mistakes.
I know. Yeah.
And that's but it's like, what mistake is too much of a mistake? It's just it's so hard to freaking know what to do.
That's what I say. Where's our handbook?
Literally.
But none of these books out here are like a handbook, you know, they're all like kumbaya, like let's raise a perfect kid. Literally. There are no perfect kids. There are no perfect people.
No, and every kid is also so different, because I know, like, I can already see it in my son's eyes. I can see it from a mile away, because game respects game, and I see the oppositional defiance in that child because I recognize it in myself. And like,
oh, you told me to do this? I'm going to do the opposite because you told me.
100%. And like that, I shudder to think what he will be like as a teenager. And like, I will love him through it, and I will think he's hung the moon. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
But I know that he is going to be how I was. I wanted to make my own mistakes. I do not want you to tell me
that's definitely gonna
what
be
I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it, how I'm going to make a mistake. I'm going to go make my own mistakes. And I remember telling my mom that. I remember being like, you may have made your mistakes. I'm going to go make them. And I'm sure my mom, sorry, Mom. I was probably like,
I know she watches this.
Oh, for sure. When I was like 15 or 16, I'm pretty sure I was like, let me make my mistakes, Mom. And she was probably like, I'm going to kill this bitch.
Yeah.
And now that I'm a mom and that I'm older, I'm like, what the fuck? But your brain is it's truly not developed when you're a teenager. It's really kind of alarming.
Yes.
And the older you get, the more you realize, like, what was happening? Like, I was not a fully formed human.
Yeah.
Until maybe like 2 years ago. I don't know.
No, I'm
scared.
I know.
I'm scared.
It's a lot.
I don't even know what we're talking about anymore.
Well, it's our mom trauma. Like, this is real life mom trauma of like
just existing.
What we're facing in the daily.
An existential crisis.
What are we doing here?
Dr. Shackett, please up my aloft right now. Call it in, girl.
Dr. Phil, please help us.
That's such a layered thing, and we can't even talk about it. We're not going to talk about it. But Dr. Phil,
just in general, that's the first person that came to mind of like who can help me on this deeper level. It's Dr. Phil.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Anyways, do I have mom trauma? I don't think so. It's been a pretty chill week.
Yeah.
Other than like the no power thing. Like Fielding's pretty much been an angel. Has he? I can't remember.
Huh?
Has he been an angel?
I mean, yeah, he's always an angel. Like you just said, you're always going to think he hung the moon.
My baby angel moon is so sweet. I love him so much. He's so goofy.
I know. These damn kids. It's like they put us through the ringer, but yet like, God, I would do literally anything.
Take several bullets. Well, we were laughing because we were out by the pool one day whenever the power was out. And your kids, like Addie was, I don't even know what Addie was doing. I don't even know if she was outside. She might have been inside watching a movie. Tucker was trying to throw stuff in the pool and you were getting like so frustrated with him. Fielding is running going, and you're like, what is wrong with him? I'm like, I start a list because I don't know. He's out of his mind.
Meanwhile, Tucker's just smiling at me as he keeps throwing things in the pool. And then he sees the look on my face of like, Tucker, quit throwing things in the pool because I'm afraid he's going to jump in after them. And he's just smiling, and then throwing them
Fielding does stuff. He gets spanked. I'm a spanker. Not all the time, but like I will spank occasionally.
Same.
Like when it's serious,
necessary.
I think there's a time and a place where it calls for it. And I didn't know how I was going to feel about that until I had a child. So if you don't have kids, don't at me.
I was about to say, don't come at us. We're not beating our kids.
I don't beat my child. I'm going to pop him on the butt if he's doing something like crazy or unsafe or whatever. But and like there are times where it's just like you need to refocus, snap out of it.
Yeah.
He laughs in my face when I spank him. And one time, I think I might have said this on the podcast already, but whenever we went over to my sister-in-law's for Mother's Day, I spanked him and he spanked me back.
Addie comes up to me now.
Excuse me?
Any chance she gets, and she's like, like slaps me in the butt, and she goes, I popped you on the butt, but it's like a good smack, and I'm like, quit, don't touch me.
I have a mom trauma. It is that Fielding has started headbutting me in the pubic bone.
Oh.
When I'm standing up, like.
Because he's right at your level.
He's right at my crotch level. I have to gird my loins so hard because this is coming in here with this 100 percentile plus head and freaking knocking me out. Like he has gotten me so good a couple of times because he just like, and then he thinks that's so funny. And I'm like, oh, like I can't even do anything. I just like scream.
Yeah. You're a football player.
It's psychotic. Well, I was FaceTiming you the other day and you're like, what's happening? Like he was just assaulting me. And then like there's a foot in my mouth and it's like,
he's just wants to WWE you. Just like get the elbow in.
But my sister-in-laws and mother-in-law always make fun of me because a long time ago I said, don't you get that feeling when you think something's super, super cute that you just want to like squeeze it to death? And they were like, what?
It's like a puppy. You just
I'm like, no, you get this feeling where you like can't control your joints. You're like I just want to literally.
I think he does that to you though. You taught him that.
It's so funny because I'm like, now I have a child who by like nature, like I did not teach him this. He like loves me so much. He wants to euthanize me. Yeah. And I'm like, I get it. Cause I used to say things like, you don't just want to like crush all their bones. And they're like, what? And I'm like, not like, really.
Not in a bad way.
Not actually crush their bones, but like you feel like you could crush their bones because you love them so much. And I'm like, now I have a child that wants to do that to me. But I'm like, see, I'm not as mentally ill as you guys thought.
Just my child is mentally ill.
My child's also. I'm not mentally ill. My child and I are both mentally ill. I'm not alone.
I'm not alone is the moral of the story. I will never be alone. He's with me until the end of time.
Have you, though? Like, I feel that way, but I'm like a moderately petite human. Have you ever thought about the fact that your husband could kill you so easily? I ask Connor this all the time, and he's like, why do you bring this up?
No, I mean, as much as I love you, Matt. Like, as much, I don't necessarily think of that. I just think about, like, a little choke. Like,
you choking him?
I'm just kidding.
But I'm saying, but like, I tell Connor, because like Connor, I remember when we were dating, like he'd hold me down with one arm to like not let me out of bed or something to be like funny. And I'd get so mad. But like Connor can legitimately hold me down with one arm, full force. He could snap my neck.
I've never thought about that, actually.
Well, yeah, it's going to shift the power in your relationship a little bit. Because I'm like, man, like, thank God they're gentle giants. Because you and I are both here like crazy chihuahuas. And they're like Great Danes. And like, the fact that they haven't murdered us, crazy. Because it would take literally nothing. It would take...
I guess.
If the power...
Matt is like so strong. Like, when we were out, and I think I said this, but like he was trying to arm wrestle everybody. He's beating everybody with an arm wrestle.
And you're like, what? Yeah. And you're like, get over here, bitch. Like, that's what I'm like, if the physicality was reversed.
Yeah. The power would be limitless.
No, they'd be dead. We would be in prison because like we would be serial killers. Like, that's why God made us small, because he is like,
we're too mighty. Like,
I don't know.
We're too powerful.
Mighty, psychotic. Same. But I always think like, that is a disadvantage of marrying big men and being little women.
Yeah. Like he could just take me out and just like it would quick little like
it would take almost nothing. It would take a slight overreaction. Like the level of my overreactions, if he had them,
it's over for you.
I'd be dead. Like,
well, thank God.
No, that's what I'm saying. We're like
very calm.
I've asked Connor that all the time, and like Connor is literally the most gentle. Like, I don't think Connor's ever raised his voice to me in my life.
Yeah.
He
would just talk like this.
Emily, I don't want to fight with you.
And then, literally.
Or if I'm like, I'm so mad at you, and I walk away, he'll be like, are we friends again yet? And I'm like, no, we're not friends.
Matt just floats around like just.
Oh my God, I always say, I'm like, Connor, quit stalking me like a shark. Get away from me. And he's like, Bon, are you mad at me still? I'm like,
the fact that our husbands love us like so much.
What's wrong with
the way like Connor loves you and the way like Matt loves me? I'm like, what did I do to deserve this? Because it's not my day-to-day interactions. Like
they like being abused.
Matt, and I love him.
Yeah,
he's just a lot better at showing it than I am, and so it's like
there's a devotion component.
He probably loves me so much he feels like he could squeeze me, right? But he
babe?
Can't,
because he would kill you.
That's what you feel like,
right, Connor? That's how you feel. Connor's like,
they're here rolling their eyes, shaking their head of like,
well, Connor was snoring last night, and I threw a pillow. Like it started with I was kicking him. Well, then he scooted to the edge of the bed, and we have a king bed feelings in between us. I can't reach over fielding and kick him anymore unless I want to crush our child.
Yeah.
So then I resorted to grabbing his pillow and shaking it. Then eventually I was pulling the pillow out, and he just was like, oh, fine, no pillow. And I'm like, no.
Wake up!
No. So then I grabbed a pillow and started throwing it at his head. And then this bitch takes his pillow and puts it under his head. He's like, thank you for the pillow. No.
As he's still snoring.
Shut up. Yes.
And I should clarify, whenever I joked about like feeling like a little chokehold to Matt, it's when he's snoring at night.
Nothing.
I'm like, what are you doing? How are you sleeping through this? And that's what I do too. I used to like donkey kick him real hard in bed. But he's a big man. Like he doesn't wake up with my little bitty donkey kick.
The little mule kick.
Yeah, like just the little cute dainty kick.
I just kick so well, no, I think I've said this before, but like I will nudge Connor and be like, babe,
it definitely starts out nice.
It escalates so hard, and the only thing he remembers is like, wow, you were throwing pillows in my face. Bitch, I tried to wake you up for 45 minutes. I woke up at 4 a.m. because you wouldn't shut up, and then our son woke up at 5 a.m. because you also wouldn't shut up. And he's like, well, he asked me today, why do you think Fielding always wakes up so early on the weekends? Like, do you think he's just so excited we're both here? And I said, I think it may be something else.
I don't know if that something else is in the room with us, but it possibly could be.
Is the alarm clock as a human in the room with us? Yes, it's you ginger bearded oaf. Because I'm like, Connor freaking woke Fielding up yesterday morning, stomping around the fucking house, and then he's got a bowl of cereal, and I hear him. Well, I've got ceramic bowls, so they're so loud. And so I hear him like scraping his cereal, and then Fielding's like, Dada? Like, go get your dada. And I literally told Connor, you're in charge because you woke him up.
Yes.
And then Connor's like, he's just so excited to see me. I'm like, no, you won't shut up. You usually leave us at 5 a.m. And on the weekends, you're here snoring at 7.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Just let him think that he's Fielding's excited.
I already
ruined
showed
it.
him. I was already like, yeah, I don't think that's really necessarily what's going on.
Yeah.
But I love that you're thinking that. Well, before we go, because I feel like we've been talking for
I know.
so long.
Who knows how long it's
Literally,
been.
who knows? Cheers and jeers. Sorry to put you on the spot.
No, it's okay.
We didn't write anything down today, guys. We're going so renegade. We don't even care anymore.
I know. I'm so excited that we like got, we're so loosened up and like so professional at this that we don't even need a whiteboard anymore.
One thing people
to
say
lay
about
out our
us
ideas
is that we're loose.
Says my massage therapist, who's like, your neck and your shoulders are so tight.
Or when you get a pedicure. If you ever see Kortnie get a pedicure.
I'm so
It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. One time I literally saw her kick a woman in the boobs because she like cannot.
She was trying to get me to extend my legs. So I was like,
Yeah. So you like straight up, speaking of donkey kicked her right in the chest. And I was like, oh my God, Court.
I'm not very good at letting go and letting loose.
I'm not really good at getting centered.
Cheers this week. I don't know. I feel like we kind of already went through them.
You can say it's our sleepover.
Cheers.
I know.
Cheers this week was getting to like hang out with you guys extra. Cheers this week was Tucker has a huge knot on his head. You'll see in a little bit. Because Matt brought a bike in to fix it. And of course, like he Googles anything and he's like, oh, I know how to fix this. What? Like, how do you know how to do that? He had the bike up on the table, but we were eating there. So he moved the bike to the ground. Tucker went to mess with the bike. He forgot it was there. Toppled on top of him, and he has like a spot on his head. So
it's good if it's swelling out. That's supposed to be the thing.
It's swelling out. No one call CPS on me, please.
I'm calling as soon as we're done here.
Like, I'm like, it was an accident, and I yelled at Matt, "Get that back in the garage!" I was so mad. I was like, "That just hurt our kid."
You did this.
Speaking of chihuahuas,
Imagine if Matt said that to you.
If the Connor, look that I would give him.
No, if Connor said that to me, I would die. Like, I would be devastated. If he...
I would just be mad.
Oh, no. Like, if Connor actually gets mad at me, I'm like, no. You're not allowed to get mad. You're not allowed to get mad at me. I get mad at you. Yeah. Remember yourself.
Put you in your place.
Yeah. No, you don't get to have feelings. That's why I married a guy with Asperger's. Please, get a grip. Return to your sector. No feelings. It's fine.
Your cheers and cheers?
Cheers. I think we're going to go to Denver to see my brother.
Oh my God, when?
Yeah, not next weekend, but the next weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, because my parents are going up there to stay. Like, they do this house sitting thing. So I think my parents are going to be there. Mm-hmm. So we'll have a place to stay. Yeah. We'll have people to pick us up from the airport. They can bring a car seat.
Yes.
So I think we're going to go to Denver for a couple of days and see Tristan, which I'm just like, really, we haven't like booked tickets yet. We're going to. Like,
the tickets were cheap when I randomly looked.
They're not horrible. They're not.
Whenever I looked, they were literally $65.
They're not that cheap anymore.
Okay,
it's like it's like $78 one way, $120 the other way. So we're talking like $200 a person.
Yeah,
but I mean, we're not going on any other trips this year. We don't have any trips planned. Yeah, so it's like let's just let it rip. So we're gonna do that. I think we're gonna leave Friday the 26th, and then the next week we start school, but I'll be at the beach celebrating my sister-in-law and mother-in-law's birthday because their birthday's the same day, July 31st, same as Harry Potter, same as my other aunts also. Everyone's born on July 31st. So
basically you have a lot coming up.
I'm a traveler. And then school starting is probably my jeers because I'm just like really coming to terms with the fact that it's upon us.
Deep breath.
I can't.
I have to push it to the back of my mind, but all right. Well, I hope you guys have some good cheers this week and minimal jeers.
Minimal.
Thanks for joining in and listening to us just go on a tangent today.
I don't even know what happened.
I don't know what happened either, but I kind of liked it. So y'all guys got some good information.
Give us some feedback. Give us feedback.
Give us feedback.
Take it or leave it. Be nice.
Remember, hang on. I was just going to say, remember, we are not professionals. Any advice that we give on here is just advice for ourselves. So
that's a big, really good disclaimer. We are dumbasses.
We need a disclaimer.
Warning, dumbasses talking.
Rate, review, subscribe.
If you listen every week, please subscribe on whatever you're listening on, Spotify, Apple, YouTube.
Leave us a review if you haven't already, because those do help a lot.
They do.
We have 5 stars on everything so far. So if you're gonna leave us less than 5, don't do it.
Just kidding. We love feedback. No, we don't. But yeah, we will see you guys again next week.
Yep.
And we hope you have an amazing week.
All
and we'll see you later. Cheers to that. Bye.
Bye.